Have you ever noticed that as you get older, the simplest social interactions can sometimes leave this surprisingly long and complicated echo in your mind? Well, this experience, this kind of social overthinking, is incredibly common for those of us over 60, but it's so rarely understood. So today, we're going to unpack the surprising science behind why this happens and, way more importantly, how to master it.
Does this just hit home for you? That feeling that a totally normal, everyday interaction, chatting with a neighbor, buying stamps, suddenly turns into this performance you feel like you have to review? You walk away and your mind just starts playing it back, again and again. It's bewildering. It can be really exhausting. And it's exactly what we're here to understand today. So here's our game plan. We'll start by giving this feeling a name, the overthinking performance. Then we'll get into the fascinating brain science behind it, what I call the brain's precision shift. From there, we'll learn how to shift our whole mindset from performance to true social sovereignty, walk through some really practical tools, and then completely reframe this experience as a kind of deep wisdom. And we'll wrap up with a simple, powerful 5-minute challenge you can start using right away.
Okay, let's put a name to this feeling, the overthinking performance. This is that internal thing that happens, where these small, fleeting social moments start to feel way more complex than they should. They just seem to require a ton of mental energy, both before you have them and definitely long after they're over.
Right, this is that mental post-processing we're talking about. You have a quick chat with the cashier, and for the next hour, your mind is just in overdrive. Was my joke about the weather awkward? Did my tone sound friendly, or did I come off as curt? Did I completely misread their expression? It's not just a fleeting thought. It becomes a full-blown mental audit of a tiny, tiny moment. And this cycle of replay and analysis, wow, it can be incredibly draining. It turns the simple pleasure of connecting with people into an unexpected source of stress.
Now, what's so crucial to understand is that this is not a sign that you're in social decline or that you've developed some new kind of anxiety. It's actually the result of a really sophisticated and profound neurological shift happening inside your brain. So let's look under the hood at what's really going on.
Okay, so here's the core idea, the precision processing shift. As we get older, our brain's raw processing speed, the sheer velocity of its thinking, it naturally becomes a little more deliberate. But our brain is a master of adaptation. So, to compensate for this change in speed, it brilliantly ramps up its social and emotional scrutiny. In short, it trades speed for depth. It's kind of like a camera lens, shifting from a quick automatic snapshot to a high-resolution manual focus. Sure, it takes a little longer to get the shot, but the level of detail it captures is absolutely immense.
And there's also this really powerful psychological layer to this, which we can call narrative fragility. See, for decades, our identity was often anchored by these clear, daily roles. Our job, being a parent to young kids, these things gave us a steady story of who we were. After 60, as those roles change or fall away, our social identity can feel a lot less grounded. The National Institute on Aging has actually noted that our brains start to prioritize what's called emotional salience. This just means that each interaction carries more weight for our sense of self. So that simple chat with a neighbor, it isn't just a chat anymore. It becomes a high-stakes opportunity for our brain to confirm, yep, I'm still sharp, I'm still connected, I'm still relevant.
So here's how this actually plays out mechanically in the brain. Your amygdala, think of it as your brain's emotional lookout tower, it becomes even more sensitive, picking up on the tiniest little social nuances. But at the exact same time, your prefrontal cortex, the brain's CEO that makes logical sense of it all, is operating at that more deliberate, high-resolution pace. And this creates what we call a processing gap. You feel the emotional weight of an interaction almost instantly, but the logical analysis lags just a moment behind. And that tiny gap, well, that's where the anxiety and overthinking live, in that little space between feeling an emotion and fully understanding why.
So let's just reframe this entire experience with this crucial point. You are not becoming socially awkward or anxious. Your brain is engaging in a really advanced form of emotional calibration. The stress you feel is just the byproduct, the metabolic noise, if you will, of a mind that has started to value depth over speed, precision over productivity. You are becoming socially precise.
All right, understanding the neurology, that's step one. The next and most important step is using that knowledge to reclaim your power. This part is all about making a fundamental mental shift, from feeling like you're a performer on a stage to becoming the sovereign ruler of your own social world. This quote right here really captures the essence of that shift. That mental replay loop feels like a problem because we judge it as anxiety. We see it as proof that we did something wrong. But what if it isn't? What if it's just your high-precision brain conducting a quality control audit? It's not anxiously looking for a mistake to beat you up over, it's deliberately synthesizing a lesson to improve its understanding of the world.
This lays it out perfectly, the two mindsets. On the left, you've got social performance. It's exhausting, it's driven by anxious replay, asking questions like, was I weird? And constantly looking for approval from others. But then on the right, we have social sovereignty. The anxious replay becomes a quality audit. The question inside your head shifts from, was I weird, to something more practical, like, did I accomplish my goal in that conversation? And that desperate need for approval? It gets replaced by a quiet, powerful self-trust. You become the observer of your own mind, not a prisoner inside of it.
So why does this matter so much? Because mastering this shift is a profound act of what we can call cognitive sovereignty. It protects your most valuable resource, your mental energy. Instead of burning all this cognitive fuel on endless looping reruns of past conversations, you get to preserve that energy for what truly matters, your growth, your joy, your interests. This leads to lower stress, a deeper sense of who you are, and it ensures that your social life stays a source of vitality, not a source of drain.
Okay, let's move from the why to the how. Knowing the reasons is empowering, for sure, but having the tools is what really brings peace. The Social Reframing Protocol is a set of 5 concrete cognitive tools designed to help you manage this new, high-precision brain and achieve what we'll call neural peace.
Think of these as little neurological uncoupling drills. First, the 5-minute window. Let yourself replay an interaction, but only for 5 timed minutes. When that timer goes off, you have to physically get up and move. This simple action tells your brain, okay, the audit is over. Second, objective labeling. Instead of focusing on the feeling of awkwardness, focus on the task. Ask, did I accomplish my goal? Third, the compassion proxy, which we'll dive into in just a second. Fourth, selective social pacing. Just intentionally schedule some buffer time after social events for your brain to process without any pressure. And fifth, the vulnerability lead. Say your specific worry out loud to a trusted friend. You'd be amazed how speaking it can calm the brain's alarm system right down.
Let's just pause on that third tool for a second, the compassion proxy. I want you to really, truly ask yourself this question. If a dear friend came to you with the exact same worry, oh, I think my tone was off with the librarian, would you dissect their performance and agree they were a social failure? No, of course not. You'd offer grace, perspective, reassurance. This tool is all about becoming your own best friend and consciously applying that same compassion inward.
And just to be absolutely clear, these are not just some feel-good lifestyle tips. They are structured behavioral drills. Every single one is designed with the brain in mind, created specifically to build a kind of firewall between your sense of self-worth and your brain's processing speed. They help you uncouple the act of thinking from the fear of judgment, and that gives you control over the whole process.
Now, for our final and maybe most important reframing. We've talked about managing this new mental process, but now we're going to talk about celebrating it. Seeing this change not as a challenge to be overcome, but as an incredible strength you have earned through decades of experience. Your so-called social overthinking is actually a hallmark of what psychologists call crystallized intelligence, that deep well of wisdom, knowledge, and skills that you build over a lifetime. You're not losing your social edge, you are refining it to an incredibly high degree. In fact, research shows that older adults who care deeply about social nuance and emotional connection actually maintain higher levels of cognitive function as they age. Your brain is exercising its most sophisticated social muscles. You know, think of it this way. For more than 60 years, you've been listening to the complex, beautiful, and sometimes dissonant music of human interaction. You've learned its melodies, its harmonies, its rhythms. And now, your brain isn't just listening anymore. It's playing that music back in stunning high fidelity, noticing every subtle note, every shift in tone. You have become a master of nuance. And this isn't a flaw, it's a mastery that only time and experience can give you.
Okay, so we've journeyed from understanding the problem to celebrating it as a strength. Now let's bring it all home with one simple, concrete, and totally achievable first step you can take right now toward living in that state of social sovereignty. The number to remember is 5. Just 5 minutes. This isn't about overhauling your entire personality or forcing yourself to just stop thinking. It's about taking control of the process one tiny boundary at a time, and it starts with this simple 5-minute drill. Here is your challenge for the next 24 hours. The very next time you catch yourself in that replay loop over a social interaction, I want you to do this. First, just notice it. Second, set a timer on your phone for exactly 5 minutes and give your brain permission to do its audit within that window. But third, and this is the most important part, when that timer beeps, you must physically get up and leave the room. That physical transition is a powerful signal to your brain that the audit is closed. The stage is now clear. Mastering this tiny action is the key to mastering the stress.
In the end, just remember that your overthinking is a high-level neurological skill, not a defect. It's the sign of a brain that cares deeply. Your only job is to manage it, and the 5-minute window is the most effective way to start today. After a lifetime of experience, you are the only judge whose opinion truly matters. You are the sovereign manager of your own mind. So, audit the thought, clear the stage, and lead your life with the calm confidence and profound sovereignty that you have absolutely earned.